Okay, so in 2024, one of the mantras or one of the intentions that I definitely want to set as a reoccurring intention for myself is becoming better and not being bitter. And for me, that looks like giving myself a certain amount of grace and being able to conceptualize what it was that I went through, what it was that I experienced, my unique fight, my unique struggle, and applauding myself for where I am right now versus where I could have been. Because things could have gone really left for me, you know? And I think that's important with a lot of people. A lot of people don't stop to give themselves proper grace, also take accountability for where they've fallen short at, and look into new ways and new opportunities in how they can revitalize themselves, keep going and continue to do what they're doing. In my situation, there was a lot of things that were, I would say, hindrances. Some of those hindrances were self limiting beliefs that I had to get through and that I was able to quickly get through once I realized, oh, this is a programming. This is something that I was taught out of either a scarcity mindset or something that I was taught because someone saw me and saw my potential and was afraid of it. Sometimes we're programmed to keep ourselves small because other people can see our potential and they immediately are intimidated by it. And I want to use the term intimidation versus being afraid because some people are not afraid of your potential. They are they envy it. They're jealous of it. And I'm talking about in childhood. I'm not talking about when you go out into the world and you start having schoolmates or you start dating or you start having friends or you start going to college or whatever or the workforce, whatever. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like when you're in the home or when you're in the confines of your family unit. When you in the confines of your family unit, sometimes you experience backhanded comments. Sometimes you experience real psychological, physical, mental, or even sexual abuse that can make you staunch your spiritual growth or make you think that anything that you do has to be out of performance instead of being out of authenticity. And when you're doing things out of performance, it does breed the environment of scarcity. And another thing is when you operate out of scarcity within you as a person, a lot of the times, if you fall short or if you don't make a mark or make a cut, or if you are not able to achieve a certain goal, it can make you not want to press forward, or it can make you not want to continue on into whatever journey or facet of life that you're supposed to be on. It can make you abandon entire projects, entire thought forms. Um, Another aspect into my 2024 is not being afraid to speak up about some of the injustices that I've experienced. There's nothing wrong with taking accountability. Everyone has to take accountability for what they've done, what they didn't do, what they said, what they didn't say, what they wish they could recant, how they responded, how you didn't respond. You are supposed to look at all of those things. You're supposed to analyze it. You're supposed to eat on it. You're supposed to look at it. You're supposed to say, what can I do to be a better me? But don't gaslight yourself and completely sidestep the fact that there might have been outside factors. And I'm talking about um actual things from actual people, not just on an energetic level, because we know that there are things that can happen energetically. However, putting that to the side, not talking about anything energetically, but more so talking about what possibly was being done by actual individuals in the physically, actions that had been taken that really either put a dent in your psyche or caused you to think of yourself in a lower way or caused you to not believe in yourself or caused you to second guess yourself. Real actions, whether it was something that was said word of mouth, whether it was something that was done to you that caused you physical harm, whether it was something that was done to you that stopped you from being able to be successful or stopped you from being able from earning or achieving something for a short amount of time due to any kind of, you know, okay, brief intermission because there was some noise going on in the background. But what I'm talking about is sometimes there are actual things that happen to us that are done outside of us by people on the material plane that you look at and you go, you know, that really was not cool. And that really was not something that was necessary. And there could have been another avenue that was taken. And there's nothing wrong with addressing that with the individuals involved. Sometimes you'll never get a chance to address that. But if you speak it out loud and you acknowledge this is something that actually happened, it wasn't okay that it happened, but I'm going to continue to move on and I'm going to acknowledge to myself because a lot of the times I can speak for myself. A lot of the times I put a lot of things on me and I put a lot of blame on me. And the reality is that sometimes it's not always all your fault. You have to do the best you can with what you have. And for me, sometimes taking time to self reflect, taking time to heal, taking time to say, I don't have the thought, the words. I don't have the aspiration, the inspiration, or the motivation for this right now because I'm dealing with some things. I'm dealing with things that are happening to me emotionally. I'm going through certain mental health changes. Sometimes certain things that are going on in the material, they cause you to guilt trip yourself because you're not able to hold the consistency that you want. But you cannot harm yourself, blame yourself for not being able to hold on to the consistency of being productive when your mental health is slipping through your hands, when your emotional health is in shambles. And a lot of the time, society would like to say you're a weakling because of that. You're weak. You're not able to produce. You're not able to perform. Something is wrong with you. That is a lie. It is a trick and it is not true. You are not weak because you have to take time to stop and rest. You are not weak because you have a moment where you're not able to perform. You're not able to move forward. Yes, sometimes what is happening to you is a direct result of something that is going on the energetic plane that you have to deal with in the realm of the spirit, as well as take care of yourself in the natural. Sometimes it looks like you don't have a plan, you don't have a thought, you don't have an intention, and really all it is that's your spirit telling you before you go on to any next level, before you go on to any next project, before you do anything, We want you to deal with this hurt. I want you to deal with this pain. I want you to deal with this toxic behavior that you have. I want you to deal with this destructive habit that you have. That's a real thing. Sometimes you're not able to produce and go forward in the way that you need to because that's your inner child saying, I need help. I'm still hurting. I'm still crying. I need somebody to pay attention. You're doing all of these things to grasp all of these accolades, and you're not dealing with the fact that I need you right now. And you may not have children in the physical, but you are still a parent in the spiritual because you have a responsibility to parent that inner child. When you are a parent, if your child is screaming because they bumped their head, scraped their knee, or they have a bloody nose, you can't say, I can't deal with that right now. I've got to work. You better get up and tend to that child, or you will have CPS at your front door. And CPS can be in the form of the spirit. Your child protective services, your ancestral lineage, your trauma, your mental health, your love language needs you to tend to this child. Because if you lose that inner child, you will lose your soul. Now, a lot of people have been talking about selling your soul, losing your soul, giving your soul up for this and that and the third. Let me tell you something. Selling your soul is not about going to some sort of group or society and saying or doing a bunch of ritualistic sacred things in order to be initiated into a higher level of consciousness. That is not selling your soul. That is just a belief system that people need to subscribe to and act out in order for them to feel like they've reached a certain echelon. And possibly that is true. But selling your soul is as simple. And let me tell you something. As a Christian, I have sold my soul about 9 times in this life. Because selling your soul is as simple as shortchanging yourself, not speaking up for yourself when you need to, not saying, hey, you did screw me over and I don't like it. Selling your soul is as simple. Another intermission, but what I was getting to is selling your soul is as simple as not doing the things that you love. Now, here's the catch to here's the thing that I experienced. And this is my story. This is my truth. This is my reality. And no one can take it away from me. Selling your soul is allowing people to take your truth away from you, to allow people to take your narrative away from you and spin the narrative around to make it look like your feelings are completely invalid. When you do that, or when you stay in situations like that, you have sold your soul. Selling your soul is as simple as not standing up for yourself. Selling your soul is as simple as not having a protest in you, not defining who you are as a person. Selling your soul is is not about whatever source, energy, deity that you subscribe to. That is not selling your soul. There are men and women every single day who could be living other lives and other realities and doing other things, but because they have allowed other people to place and deposit fear in them, and because they have a fear of their own inequality, their own inadequacies, and because they have a fear of their own inadequacies, they tend to take that out on other people and operate in the spirit of inequality by screwing other people over because they have an inferior complex about themselves. when you have to harm somebody else's inalienable rights to live, when you have to criticize, when you have to count out, when you have to demeanor, when you have to tear somebody down, when you have to take somebody down, when you have to do something because you are afraid to face your own inadequacies, which really are illusions and are not inadequacies at all. That is when you sell your soul. Selling your soul has nothing to do with a deity or a source or anything like that. Selling your soul is compromising your own moral compass and values. And here's another thing: moral compass and values are subject to your perception. So, what one person will do in order to get where they need to be, another person may not do, because their perception is that is beneath me, or that goes against my personal spiritual boundaries. And here's the thing: neither individual are wrong, because selling your soul has to do with you betraying yourself. That is when you sell your soul, when you are betraying yourself. If I am made in the image of God and I am walking evidence on earth that there is a God, but I am compromising my spiritual, my mental, my physical, everything about me, I'm compromising it. What is compromise? Doing something in this sense, not compromise in the normal sense. Abnormal compromise. When there is an abnormal agreement, when there is a breach of your soul contract, meaning you let any and every energy in, even when your soul says, no, this is not okay. No, we do not stand for this. No, you deserve better. No, you are better. No, you were born better. No, you were created for more. No, you are more. Just when you go against your soul contract based off of your perception, and you'll know this because it won't feel organic. It won't feel good. You'll have an uneasy feeling about what you're doing. But you're doing it anyways because you're doing it out of scarcity. When you operate like that, that is the art of selling your soul. And millions of people, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim, Hindu, millions of people do it every single day. Atheists, anarchists alike. Everybody sells their soul at least 2 to 3 times in this life. The goal is to get you to stop selling your soul and start reading your soul contract. And when you read your soul contract, you can then go out and proclaim what your soul edicts are. And whatever your faith is, it should line up with the proclamations and the affirmations that are positive to your faith, whether you're Buddhist, Christian, Jewish, whatever. But a lot of people talk about selling. Selling your soul is when you have had an injustice done to you and you don't speak up about it. Selling your soul is when you're doing something, not doing something that you don't want to do because you have to, not doing not that hard stuff, but I'm talking about doing the things that you know are against you, staying in situations that you know do no longer serve you, being in environments that you know you've outgrown, even if you financially don't have the means to leave from the environments that you're in. Spiritually, you ain't got to be there. And I guarantee you, spiritually, if you're not even there anymore, your spirit will start operating and doing things in such a way that you will leap over bounds, you will leap over mountains, you will go over valleys that will lead you far away from the destination that you're currently at. You will not stay in the same place because your mind and your soul and your spirit is already in motion somewhere else. Have you ever seen someone or talked to someone and you say, "Did you hear anything that I said?" God, I'm looking in your eyes, I'm looking in your face, and it's like your mind is 1,000 miles away because my spirit is 1,000 miles away. You're talking to me. The vessel is physically here, but the spirit is 1,000 miles away. I'm in a different dimension. I'm not here with you right now. Even when you've had hindrances, even when you've had roadblocks, even when you've been confused, even when you've made mistakes, and there's no such thing as a stupid or a dumb mistake. You are not stupid. You are not dumb. You are not inferior. You are not a loser. You do not accept those negative affirmations. Those are word curses. And you do not accept curses like that over your life. You are an overcomer. You are an overachiever. There's nothing about you that is low quality. You have to accept that you are a winner, and you have to take the wins and look at your life and really examine the wins. The wins in my life is I'm in my right mind. I'm healthy in my body. I am articulate. I have ideas. I have dreams, I have talents, I have goals, and I'm attaining them. There's some people right now who are outside of their mind, outside of their consciousness, and they have no way of getting back in. It's like they're locked outside of their mind and they're running around in a white room in their mind and they have no way of getting back in. Some people are watching movie reels in their mind of the same events over and over and over, and they have no way of turning the channel, changing the movie, or going outside of the cinema. No way of doing it. With everything that I've been through, not only can I change the channel, but I can change the scenery. I have a lot to be grateful for. The things that I went up against in 2022 and in 2023, I should not be in my right mind. My spirit shouldn't be as strong as it is. My meridians should not be as aligned as they are. I should not be able to articulate myself. It could have been another way. I'm still here. There is no failure within me. I do not accept failure. I am not a failure, and neither are you. You may not have achieved the things that you wanted to achieve. You may were confused about some of the assignments that you were given. The relationship may have fell apart. Everything went to shit. Everything fell apart in your life. Nothing went the way that you thought that it would be, but it could have been another way. It could have been another way. And I'm talking to the people who have decided to reclaim their soul back, even if they sold their soul. I'm talking to the people who did not do others like how they were done and still decided to put one foot forward. I'm talking to the people who everybody tells you to shut your mouth because nobody wants to hear your excuses when you don't have excuses. You have grievances that you need to air out. I'm talking to the people who want to set the record straight. I'm talking to the people who are tired of dealing with silent screams and and silent torment that they're carrying inside of them because they're afraid to speak out, afraid to say anything, afraid to assert themselves. You are not a loser. You are not a failure. You are not a fraud. Get rid of the imposter syndrome. You are not a fraud. You may have done things and you may have said things and you may have engaged in things that sold your soul or that transferred your light into darkness and caused you to be a person that you don't even recognize in the mirror. But I'm here to tell you today, you can always reclaim your soul. You can always reclaim your purpose. You can always grasp your happiness. You can always manifest a new beginning. You can always align yourself with the God source. You don't have to steal from nobody. You don't have to cheat nobody. You don't have to lie on nobody. You don't have to fight nobody. You don't have to cuss nobody out. You can assert yourself and let people know what they did, how it made you feel, and how it was wrong, and you can move forward. It could have been another way. Bye for now.